Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is MILLENNIAL. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, hey girl, I have a special guest today. Hi. I have Jae from
FACEOVERMATTER, you already know.
Yes, honey. So we have come together to bring you a get ready with us chit chat video. I know that I haven't done a makeup video in my channel for a little while, so I said, you know what? Why don't I invite Jae to come in?
I drove 4 hours for this, okay?
Listen, so we're actually, so obviously this video is going to be like a get ready with me, but we're going to be filming a video for her channel as well. Yes. So make sure that you guys go support FACEOVERMATTER. She is amazing, okay? So we don't really have a look inspiration. We're just kind of going to go with the flow, talk about some things.
I'm trying to be a little beat because I've been literally beat.
Right.
Looking rough.
Listen, life could be a little, interesting sometimes.
Let's get into it.
So actually, I don't know why I have my vlogging camera here because. So what do you get started with? Like,
I usually use, I ran out of my rose water spray.
Oh, I love the rose water. By who? Which one do you use?
Is it Mario Badescu?
Yes, I ran out too.
So I was just gonna use the little rose water thing. Somewhere. And then I got my Olay. Y'all on my channel, y'all already know what it is. The Olay.
Oh, wait, what is that?
The Regenerist lotion. That's pure.
Girl, you can't even see the Olay?
I get my money's worth. The thing is not cheap at all.
I'm just using the Urban Decay Urban Defense Complexion Primer. So we just gonna get into that. We're gonna prime my face. I already have moisturizer on because...
Oh, quick question. Do you shave your face?
I do.
What is it called? It's not microblading. What is it called?
Microblading.
Dermablation? Is that it?
I've never done that before.
Like when you get the peach fuzz off your face?
No.
I want to do that.
You do that? The only thing I do, because I get a little hair here and there, so I do the little, which is not even here, but those little
it's like a little blade.
Like these little blade thingies?
Yeah, that's what I use.
And you just take a little bit of that peach fuzz. Is that what that's called? Peach fuzz? Is that what people say?
Because you see, I had a lot of hair, even down to my sideburns.
But I know that a lot of people do it because supposedly the foundation goes on better.
Yeah.
It's smoother.
Because it's smoother. Mm-hmm. I have the weirdest skin complexion. I don't know what it is. It's I'm red some days, and then I'm more like in this light, I look yellowy green.
I don't know what I look. And I don't know. So right now my face is going through, not my whole face, but I feel like one side of my face is kind of breaking out, and then it'll stop, and then it'll do it again. So I've been trying to experiment what's going on because this is not normal for me. So I'm just going all in on the foundation on today because we
gotta cover it up.
We gotta cover it up. So I'm gonna be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect. I don't know.
I always
something like that. Yeah. And Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. This is a very heavyweight kind of thing. It feels very creamy.
I tried that a while ago and it broke me out so bad.
It's probably what's breaking me out. Well, no, because I stopped wearing any makeup at all.
Really?
For a few days.
I tried it. It's an old video, probably 2 years old, I think. Because that came out a while back.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried it, but I love the consistency. I love the coverage of it and all that. But it's that joint broke me out.
Yeah. And then I'm going to mix it with the NARS one. So the Milani one is light beige, and then the NARS one is Stromboli. And
that NARS is everything.
It is.
Have you tried the Huda Beauty? Because I just mixed that one with my NARS. Girl,
I need one of those things. I literally just put it right on my face. Just like this.
Oh. I got this one from Amazon, I believe. All right, in your opinion, does it match or no? Because I don't think it matches. But But this is my reality. Nothing matches me.
Really? Wait, what brush is that?
Sonic Blend. It's supposed to spin, but I didn't charge it. But it's so soft, so I'm here we are. Okay, let's get to the good stuff.
Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about saved and single as millennials. So we're both millennial women, young women of faith. and we're both single. I don't know, Jay.
I mean, I am technically single.
So she's taking her foundation off because it just is not a thing. It's not a thing. This is real life. Trial and error. So obviously you guys know my story. But just talking about being saved and single as a millennial, like just in this world, like it's very crazy out there, you know, and there's so much pressure on the topic in regards to like sex and like all that stuff that it can be overwhelming because it makes you think like if you're not in a relationship or if you're not married or if you're not whatever at a certain age, it's like you're not whole or you're not completely fulfilled or you're not living life fully.
Right.
And I think that's such a misconception, especially someone who has been married before. It's like, no, I think that first you got to be made whole with you and God before you ever entertain. And I think that singleness is such a beautiful journey and it's such a beautiful season in your life because it's literally you and God. It's literally you and God. But marriage is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. But I think that now that I'm kind of like on this side of things, it definitely gives me a new perspective. So like, what do you think about singleness and
I just feel
being single?
Girl, I think it's more of making sure that, like she said, find yourself and get a relationship with God and focus on that so you can really be in alignment because at the end of the day, it all results back to Him and His plan for your life anyway. Right. So it's like if we can just get to a place where we're stop trying to put time limits on everything. Well, I'm such and such age, so I know I need to be with somebody. Like, no, because at the end of the day, it takes a lot to be in a relationship because you're not just dealing with yourself now. You're dealing with someone else. And in order to be the person that you need to be for someone else, like, you have to be whole. Because it's not two halves coming together. It's two wholes coming together. So you know, and like, I've never been married. So it's like, I don't know anything about marriage, but it's still, it's a relationship. And it takes a lot, but
yeah, girl. I mean, and then, you know, just being our age, like, I know she's younger than me, but still, I think that, like I said, you know, I think that there's so much pressure out there for a young single woman to hurry up and get married and like, and it's unnecessary pressure because it doesn't mean that,
like something's wrong.
Right. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It doesn't mean that, you know, and then you don't want to end up marrying or being with the wrong person. You know, you want to be with someone who, you want to be with your purpose partner.
Yes.
Your life partner. The person that you literally, oh my gosh, my leg is numb. Ugh. Sorry.
Be with the one that God designed you to be with.
Ordained you to be with. Literally.
Come on. Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
I think it's just what people have seen, like, in the social eye.
Right.
And not saying anyone that's happily married, if you're happily married, you're happily married. Whatever the case is. But it's like, people see that, and they want that. They want that companionship. They want it. So it's like, I need that. Or you feel, I think people feel complete when they have, you should feel complete with God. Right. And it's like, that's not what's going to complete you. Because you can get married all day long. That's what I mean.
That's exactly what I mean.
You ain't got God.
That's exactly what I mean. Because this is by all means not saying that, like, if you're a wife right now, that doesn't mean that, you know, you can't be made whole in yourself.
Girl, I'm over it. We're good. We're good.
We're good. Like, you can't be made whole in your, like, as your own self. I think that it's so important to know who you are, what you bring to the table, the things that you are adding to Him, and the things that He adds to you. It's literally such a beautiful act of, like, becoming one. And so that's why, you know, when people are like, oh, you know, I want to be married by a certain age, it's like, no, you want to be with the right person by whatever age God has them for you.
Because I was even telling, you know, I was saying yesterday, like, I would love to be a young wife. I'm only 21. I would love to be married at 23. I would love to be a young wife. I would. That's just me. But the reality is, if that is not what God has for me, if me getting married at 35 is what he wants for me, then yeah, right. I just got to deal with that. I want to give myself that time to figure out who I am and what God really has for me, because I was telling my cousins, I was like, I have spent a lot of my teenage years dealing with a guy, getting heartbroken and just constantly just trying to feel like I had to make somebody else happy. I don't know. Like, I don't know what it was. It's like I always felt like I needed to make somebody else happy and just deal with pain. And that's nothing but the trick of the enemy, because that's not why I was created. Like, true enough, we gonna go through, but I won't create it just to struggle. I won't create it just to go through.
No, and that's my main thing. Like, I just am so, I feel so passionate and so strongly about women really in their singleness, loving themselves and really being made whole in the image of God, and really knowing that, like, it's okay if you're not married. It's okay if, but it's also okay if God has called you. I was a wife at 21 years old, guys. Like, God called me. That was my assignment very early on. But it doesn't mean that it was easy. It doesn't mean that, like, being a young wife was, like, glamorous. No, like, we literally had to grow up together. And so now, kind of being on the other side of this, there's a lot of, like, you just have to stay focused on what it is that you want out of life. So I think that's the key we want you guys to kind of take away from this topic, is just, being a young woman of faith, a millennial, and single. I think it's so important to stay focused.
And my thing is, I always like to try to see things like from God's perspective. It's like he created us for such a time as this.
Girl.
We were created in this, like, the year we were born, and we were created for this generation, for this type of generation of people.
Right.
So it's like we have a mission that we're on, and it's like God already had us in mind before the creation of the world. And it's like for us to go ahead and be born and live in life, and it's like we're put on hold because of other things. It's like, no, we have to get back to why we were created in the first place, and everything else. Like Scripture says, everything else, seek the kingdom, and everything else will be added accordingly. So it's like, because I'm telling you, take it from me. Like, I'm 21, and I done lived a little bit. I ain't lived too much, but I lived like
You've been through some things.
But it's like, and I appreciate God taking me through such hits so early on, because now going forward, not that I got it all together, I'm still learning, but it's like I have seen a whole lot of things that is making me wiser. So just take this time, and there is beauty in being single. It really is. And I'm speaking to myself as I'm speaking to y'all, like, being single is a blessing. Like, being with someone is a blessing as well, but it's like, if things aren't what God wants them to be, it's a beautiful thing being single, because you can really take that time to perfect your relationship with God and focus on that and really give him that attention. Because when you're married, you have kids, and then you're something in the church, like you're dealing with church, you're dealing with work, and you're a whole bunch of different things. Like, I like to say, people wear different hats. Like, you're a bunch of different things. Then it's like, now you're really trying to budget, like, where's God at with this, and now I got all this over here. Like, it's a lot. So I just say, while I'm encouraging myself, like, if you're single, it's a blessing. So enjoy that time that you have with yourself, because that way you can really figure out who you are. And people at any age are still figuring themselves out, and that's okay.
Right.
And I feel like if we stop putting a time limit on when we should have that all together, we'll be less stressed out. Because
it's really, I think that is really, like, a lot of different age brackets, because obviously, so we can only speak to being single as a millennial, because that's where we are. So if you're watching this and you're older, we still want you to feel encouraged by that, because singleness is not subject to an age group or a age, age category or whatever. But I think that it's important to fully recognize your potential as a single person, as what you have to offer the world.
Yes.
Before you could ever think that you'll find wholeness or you'll find your full purpose in anybody else.
Right.
So we just did like a, not Q&A, but we did like a little poll on Instagram. She's also on Instagram, guys. So and we were just kind of collecting some comments and stuff. So one of the next things that I want to transition to is just being a believer and being on YouTube. How's that been for you?
It's a lot of good and a lot of, I'm not gonna say bad, but it's definitely pressure, because once you state that you're a believer, it's like boom. Ooh, you're in a whole different category now, and if you step out of that category at all, I'm coming for your neck.
I think it's
like, girl, I can't stand it, because at the end of the day, I'm still a human who is learning, and I share with anyone I can what I learn from God as I walk with Him. At the end of the day, I'm not sitting beside God on the throne. Like, I'm not there. So as I'm learning, things, I share them.
You share them.
So if I don't have it all together, or if I haven't come into the knowledge of something, it's cool. Like, I'm not saying no one can come and correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
But because like at the end of the day, it's like I've had people come and instead of, they'll label their opinions as constructive criticism. And I'll have to tell people, I'm like, wait a minute, I will take constructive criticism. I'll take it any day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's your opinion, and I'm not going to receive that.
Right. It's not of God.
But it's a beautiful thing, and I'm very honored and grateful that God has allowed me to be a person. He had me in mind to be someone in a public eye.
Yeah.
With a mouth that I can say. Right. He could have picked anyone else. You. So it's definitely a blessing, but just dealing with like the negative side of it. But at the end of the day, there's more supporters and people who understand.
There's more good than bad. Yeah. I hear you.
So I don't want to discredit anyone who supports, because I love you and it's beyond appreciated. So
I hear you 100%. Like, I agree. And I think that I think obviously like it's been more good than bad. So if you're kind of like contemplating whether to start a channel where you're talking about God in it, or you're going to be introducing the topic of faith, know that not everybody is going to like what you have to say, and know that there are going to be a lot of people that will try to discredit your
scholars,
your journey, right, and your insights and your revelations. But don't let that discourage you in sharing that, because if you are literally, now I'm saying, if God is literally sharing with you to share these things and it's of God,
right.
I've had, and like I said, it's not even like that deep. It's never been that bad.
Right.
But I mean, come on, not everybody's gonna like what you have to say, and that's okay. Like,
right. Absolutely.
Not everybody's gonna like you.
Because you think about preachers who get up on the pulpit and they preach. You think everyone in the congregation is like, oh yes. Some people are in the back,
people are like, ouch.
Oops. But see, sometimes, I mean, it's for your conviction, or it's to correct, or it's to help.
So yeah, I mean, let's do a makeup check-in, because I feel like we haven't even been saying. So I said what I use for foundation, right? So I use for concealer, I use the Tarte Shape Tape, y'all know. NARS Radiant Creamy in Custard. I think that's custard. Yeah, that's custard. Beauty Blender for foundation. I think that's it.
I'm over here peeping this highlight you got, honey.
Girl, this is like the limited edition.
How much is that? Like $50?
Girl, I don't know. This was a while back. It's an investment. You could use something.
Because was that the
Emery's? Y'all, this highlight is bae.
See, she got the bougie stuff. I'm over here with the Maybelline Master Chrome.
I definitely got some e.l.f. here. Hello, Target.
Girl. I was like, man, that thing is pretty. But I love this highlighter. I don't know why.
Which one is that one?
The Master Chrome.
Oh.
100 Molten Golden.
We like that.
Y'all, I can barely even give y'all makeup tips right now because my foundation does not match. I cannot find my shade. I can't.
I'm interested to see how this looks, because I know that the same thing. Like, I know my face be looking really like bomb, and then like it's like, girl, why do you look so golden? And then like your chest is like white.
Like I don't know. Cause see, like, all right, see, like with my arm, it doesn't look bad. Mm-hmm. You see? Like, my body is just different colors. So, like, here it doesn't look bad. But, like, there.
So, starting a YouTube channel.
My best advice for starting a YouTube channel is just start it. Yeah. The more you wait, the more you're not going to do it.
Literally.
Because you'll easily talk yourself out of it because you'll start to think about all the negative things that can come with it. Just do it. Just start it. And be yourself. Do not get on here trying to fake nothing because, honey, you're going to try to have to keep that up over and over and over again.
Too much.
I'm telling you, people in the comments, they will peep your fakeness and they'll tell you.
I think at some point, what kind of brought fear to me was getting mistaken as someone who has it all together.
Yeah. Because like my family is kind of like that. Like they'll come to me with stuff. And I guess it's because I have a closer relationship with them. With God than they might have. But it's like, I guess they just kind of feel like, well, she knows God, so she knows the answer. I don't know. Because that's what I like to say. As I grow, as I walk with God, I share what's revealed to me.
Yeah.
And if I said something in the past that wasn't, right, it's just part of coming into the knowledge
of who God is in your life. And because our lives are ever so changing and evolving, we do become more knowledgeable of who God is. And it's like, oh my gosh, God, like, I know you now as a provider. I didn't know you like that before.
The experience.
And the experience will literally change your life to the point where you're just like, oh my gosh, like, and I was telling Jay yesterday, like, I didn't know how to trust God in the capacity that I know now how to trust God because I wasn't walking with him to know that about him. So now that I've walked in like deep waters with him, I know that he got me. Like, I know that God's got me. Like, I know that he's taking care of me and he will not lead me in the wrong direction.
Right.
And I know that he won't leave me either. Right. And so because I've experienced him in that way, it's like a new level of trust.
Because I'm telling you, God's funny like that. You're like, oh yeah, Lord, I trust you. And God, you are my provider. As soon as you say them words, honey, he gonna be like, okay. God is about action, okay?
Listen.
He's all about what you say, but he is about action. And he wants to see that you trust him. Like, you can say it all day long. Words don't mean nothing. He wants to see that you really trust him. He really wants to see that you believe that he is really your provider and that he is the only thing that you need in your life. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But to know God is to experience him and to know him for yourself.
Girl, yeah.
That's why everybody's journey is so unique. We may experience some of the same things, but not in the same way.
Oh my
and
gosh.
It's so unique. That's why your relationship with God is yours and no one can tell you otherwise. It's your relationship. Woo. However you pray, however you communicate with him, however you read the Bible, like whatever it is, it's your thing.
It's your thing.
It's your relationship. Just like you have with other people. You know what I'm saying? You got levels of friends. Oh, that's my best friend. It's my best friend. Like, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
there's levels to friendship.
It's levels. So with God, it's another level that you have with him. And it definitely comes from experience.
Yeah, you define that.
Yeah.
You define that because you're going to have that conviction in your life and be like, oh my gosh, Lord, like I really need you. Like I need you. Mm-hmm. Like I can't. So I'm at the place now where I'm like, oh, it's without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like I can't ever see myself, not to say that our relationship is always going to be perfect because we're not perfect.
Right.
So we're always going to come up short in certain areas because we are human. But like I'm saying, like I think that our relationship with God is just always evolving. You know, some seasons it's like we feel distant because of the things that are on our hearts and like what we're going through.
Right.
And we're like, God, like I can't hear from you. Like I don't know what you're saying. And I think it's so important to not let your faith what's that when like your faith, it's not wither away, but like stay strong in your faith knowing that he hears your cry.
Yeah.
And I love when like I read about how Jesus interceding on behalf of us.
Yeah.
Seated at the right hand of the Father.
Come on here.
And he knows, like, even our tears have a language.
Girl, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's
and
so
we're
good.
just like, oh my Lord, like,
that's so
what
good.
do I do?
Because when you think about it, when you run out of words, like, crying is an expression of the pain is so great or so bad that there are no words to describe it. Because that's why a lot of times when I'm worshiping, I'm crying. Because, like, God, I don't know. There are no words to describe, like, what you mean to me. Like, I could say it, but it's like, it doesn't cover it. Like, so I gotta cry. I gotta scream. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, like, that's the first time I ever really heard someone put it like that, but it's definitely a language. Yeah. That's good.
Our tears have a language. It's like an unspoken prayer. And it's really deep because it's like sometimes, like, I'll be in the presence of God and I'll just weep because there's something that he is working on that I don't really quite understand.
Right.
And I don't know. It's so deep that I just really don't know how to put it into words, what I'm feeling.
Right.
And I think that's why some people get so caught up in, gosh, I feel so heavy, or gosh, I feel so dark, and I don't know what to do with this. And so I have now gotten into the habit of inviting God into those places. Like, God, I invite you into my unspoken feelings. Like, I don't really know what it is and what's going on in my heart.
Yeah.
But there's something that I cannot put into words. And so, Lord, I invite you into that place because...
And even, like, remember, too, like, he knows our thoughts and our feelings. Oh, so even if you can't express it, you can just say, God, you know how I feel.
Right.
You know the level of my pain. You know the level of whatever it is. God, you know. And please just touch me in those places.
Ooh, yeah.
Speak directly to those places that are keeping me from feeling you. And honey, I'm telling you, he does
that. I'm excited to. So on her video, on her channel, we're gonna be talking about prayer.
Oh yeah.
And
it's gonna be good stuff.
Some other good stuff. Where are you at now?
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing either. I'm just kind of going.
I was ready to do some eyeshadow, but I think I'm gonna just keep it very minimal. Like, my eyebrows look like caterpillars today.
Really? Yeah. You know, like, when one thing is not working out, you're just like, you know what?
I'm over it.
I'm going to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it simple.
Over it. But let me tell y'all something. This palette right here from Anastasia, I love it so much.
Which one is that one?
The Soft Glam.
Glam.
But the packaging is so nice. But look how, like, it's that material. But it gets so dirty. And it's like, how do you clean that? It's not, like, aesthetically pleasing. But
right, when it gets dirty.
It's a nice palette. I really like it. I use it all the time.
Am I throwing on lashes or not? Am I doing it?
Girl, I was just admiring your lashes yesterday. Honey, I was like, I wish I would have put on some lashes. I was coming straight from church, and I do not do lashes at church.
Right.
I cry too much.
That's what I was talking about on my latest Instagram post.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put it right here. But I was talking about how, like, I think I found boohoo-proof makeup. But the thing is that I cried yesterday, but not, like, as much as I usually do. Because y'all know, like, I be going in, and I don't care how cute my makeup is. I will get it in with the Lord.
Come on.
So yeah, I don't really do heavy makeup at church. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be bold with it. Like, I'm going to try it out sometimes and just be. But every time.
Because, like, with me, honestly, when I wear heavy makeup to church, I almost feel, what is the word? I almost feel restricted to not really go in because it's like, okay, my makeup is looking good.
Right.
But then in some occasions, I've just went in and my makeup was just looking like however when I was done. But then sometimes I'll wear a very minimal. So if I do go in, I'm comfortable enough to go in and I'm cool if it messes up, or usually don't mess up when it's like real light. But yeah, it's like sometimes I just won't even wear a whole lot just for that matter because I don't want to ever feel restricted. Like I can't praise God because of my makeup. It's like, what? Have you tried this mascara from Milk?
No.
This is like heavy. It's like freaking.
Oh.
Like it's heavy duty. It's so good though. It's so good.
I really hate that my face is really just annoying right now, but we're just working with it.
What are you feeling like eating tonight?
I don't know.
Like, I'm a fat person. Like, I'm over here thinking about food.
What you want to eat? So, how do you find motivation to just like continue living and continue doing this like entrepreneur YouTube stuff? Like, how do you keep your motivation?
Because I know for me, I know, and I mean this in the most humble way possible. Like, I've tried, like, not a 9 to 5, but I've tried jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried it. But it just doesn't work out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've tried it. It just doesn't work out for me. Because I have my days, y'all. I have my days where I sit in the house. I'm like, you know what?
I don't feel
Forget it. Like, ain't nothing happening. Just forget it. Today's just going to be a lazy day. And then one lazy day turns into a week full of lazy days. And, you know... But at the end of the day, I just know God has called me, because I look at it like this, just as my testimony. Like, like I was saying earlier, I'm from a very small town in Virginia. I'm a very small town, and this type of job is like unheard of in my area. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to be able to see how much God has blessed me with, me not even leaving my area.
Right.
It's not like I'm traveling. Like, this is the only time I've traveled somewhere to network with someone else. So it's like... You know, like 4 years later, I'm doing it. So it's like, God has shown me what he can do just by me being at home.
Right.
So it's like, there's no telling what could go on once I start moving geographical locations.
Right.
So that's what keeps me motivated, because I know God has called me to something amazing. And I know if I quit, it won't happen. So I have no choice but to keep going until it happens. Because if I quit, that's not going to make it happen.
I think for me, what keeps me motivated is that, you know, I want to live a life on purpose.
Yeah.
Whether that's doing YouTube, whether that's doing, you know, a 9 to 5, whatever it is, I always wanted to, like I said, that word invite, that's really like me right now. Invite him into whatever it is. So I think that, you know, when I did work a 9 to 5, I really did. That's really what made me really fall in love with social media a little bit, even more, because I learned so much about social media marketing and like the potential of all of that. With that being said, like, I really gained so much knowledge and saw so much potential in the marketing realm. And so, long story short is that I knew that whatever I got into, I wanted it to be something that I always had God in the middle of it. In the center of it, just him, all him. And I think that once I started like gazing my eyes on that, this YouTube thing and entrepreneurship really was like a thing for me. Yeah. And I think that even it's a form of ministry as well. I feel, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like for me, what motivates me is just keeping that focus and knowing that like I'm doing this not in vain. Now, these are the Ardell Wispies, and they're so light, lightweight. You don't feel like your eyes are shutting.
Right, bat wings. I like to call them bat wings.
Concentration.
Yep, I forgot about quiet.
Yeah. Anyway,
honey, whole battery died. Embarrassing.
All right, guys. So the battery died. So we don't even remember where it left off. But this is how we finished our look. What lippy did you use?
I used my MAC lip pencil in cork, and then it was the Maybelline matte inks.
Oh,
those are bomb. Those are so good. They're so good. Okay. They're so good.
Y'all know what red I use. I love me the Fenty Beauty.
I almost put it on.
Stunner.
The Stunner lip paint.
Stunner lip paint and uncensored. So, but listen, guys, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Jae and I literally loved filming this. Like, this is so encouraging for each other, but really we want to make sure that you feel encouraged with watching, you know, these types of videos. So I invite you to comment down below, leave a comment, leave any questions that you may have for us, and we'll make sure that we get to it.
And this is just the start.
Yeah, honey. This is just the beginning, guys.
We got a whole lot that we ready to get done this year, so please keep a lookout for all the stuff that we have coming.
And make sure that you check out her channel. I'm going to leave all of her information down in the description box, because you know, I want to expose you guys to more people who are encouraging, who are really, really solid people. And we ain't perfect. We're not going to always get it right. But I just want you guys to know that there are other people out there that love Jesus, that are bomb, and that are doing it, okay? Yes. Are out here doing things. So thanks for being on my channel.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, y'all. See you guys in my next video.